Yo, what is up guys, Ghost here, welcome back to another Battlefield 6 video. This time, very exciting news. New leaks have suggested that the reveal actually could be right around the corner, so we're going to get into everything in the video here in a second. But before we do, as always, if you guys enjoy the content on the channel, make sure to get subscribed to stay up to date with everything Battlefield, and as always, thank you guys so much for your support. So we need a bit of a backstory on this one first, because this story is actually kind of wild. So some of you guys may have seen me post this in previous videos. This is a screenshot from a content creator, I believe in his own personal Discord, and this guy is called Vig. Now, for those of you who don't know him, he is, I believe, a TikToker who makes Battlefield content, and he posted this showing that there is allegedly a EA AAA title reveal event set to take place in 2025 on the 29th of July until the 31st, and it's in Los Angeles, California, exact location to be defined. Now, this came out months ago, and when it did, everybody said it was fake news, it was pretty much debunked, and when I mentioned it in one of my recent videos, very quickly, I started to see people, especially other EA Creator Network members, coming out and sort of saying, oh, Ghost, there's nothing to this, it's been debunked months ago, so, you know, don't be spreading misinformation around. However, I have found that the number of people who privately and anonymously contacted me in DMs was so many that it kind of got me thinking. It's almost as if me posting that started to ruffle some feathers, and I even had other people reach out and say, hey, I posted this information a couple of weeks ago, and I too had people in the EA Creator Network reach out to me and say, hey, you shouldn't be posting that, or don't bother posting it because it's fake or it's simply inaccurate. And back in that video, I told you guys, you know, take this with a massive grain of salt because there may be nothing to it. However, then we also realized that the next EA quarterly earnings conference call is going to take place on July 29th. Now that's quite a coincidence, don't you think? And what we know about Andrew Wilson, the CEO of EA, is that he often likes to reveal big things about the game either slightly before the conference call so that he can then, you know, talk to his investors and say, hey, look at the way the community are reacting to this, isn't it fantastic? And sort of drum up that hype to his investors. Or they may reveal something shortly after the earnings call because they could have showed something to the investors a little bit early. Either way, I thought this was an uncanny coincidence that the EA earnings call is going to be on the exact same date that this guy mentioned the reveal was going to take place. Now, yes, these earnings call dates can be seen well in advance, so he certainly could have looked that up and just, you know, if he really wanted to try and fake it for whatever reason, but I just don't see what reason he would have for doing that. Least of all if he's just going to post it like in his own Discord, you know, not in a public place like Twitter or YouTube, for example. But yesterday, there was a big development. So this was posted over on Reddit, and I've noticed it has since been removed from Reddit. And what it was is a Google document that you can fill out to apply for the opportunity as a veteran to take place in the Battlefield reveal. And this is what it says here. It's from a company called StackUp, and for those of you who don't know, StackUp are an organization that support veterans in the US through gaming. And it says StackUp at Battlefield release party, and I'm sure they've made a mistake there because it's not a release party, it's a reveal party. And it says StackUp has the opportunity to bring military veterans out to Ripple Effect Studio for their reveal event and party for the upcoming Battlefield game. The dates are to be determined, but appear to be sometime in late July or early August. This is apparently from EA. At this event in Los Angeles later this summer, you'll be among a select group of fans, creators, and press who get to see the live reveal of the latest entry in this landmark FPS series. Come out to immerse yourself in this brand new Battlefield, watch creators and influencers play the new game, grab brand new Battlefield swag, and stay to enjoy food and drinks. We're looking for red shirts to join us for the event. Community members of StackUp may fill out this form to show their interest in attending. If selected, you will need to be able to make it out to Los Angeles on your own. So I think what they've done here is they have accidentally shared this, or somebody in the community has shared this online, and it's kind of leaked out, and that's why it's probably been removed from Reddit. If there was nothing to it, and this was something fake concocted by a member of the community to try to lead people astray, then why would it be removed from Reddit? Could possibly because it's misinformation and they're also trying to remove that sort of thing. But personally, I think this is legit. And just to show you, a couple more things here further down the document, there's an image here of, I believe, Ripple Effect Studios that has been put in there. Here is part of the form, so it asks for your first name, your last name, stuff like the branch of service, how many years did you serve? And then even further down it says, be advised if you are selected and coming in from out of town, you have the option to stay overnight at Phalanx House in Van Nuys for your date. You will be required to make your way out to Los Angeles on your own dime. Stack Up will not pay any travel expenses. Do you understand this? So you've got to agree to that. And then you've also got to consent to the contract. This looks way too legit to be fake. And so it looks like those other two leaks are definitely corroborated by this one. So this is very exciting stuff. Obviously, they've said the dates here are to be determined, and that could mean one of two things. It could mean that the date wasn't revealed to them yet, but it is going to be at the end of July on the 29th till the 31st, and maybe they were just given a rough date and told, yeah, it's going to be late July or early August, or maybe the date has been shifted and it could now be in early August instead. It's also very exciting to hear that creators and influencers are going to be playing the game. This reminds me of the Battlefield 4 reveal, and I've talked about this many times here on the channel. I thought that was so awesome. We actually had a show where all of the developers over at DICE sat down in front of 64 computers and they played like a real round of Battlefield. It was definitely somewhat scripted what they did and they'd practiced it and whatnot, but it was way better than just, seeing like cinematic footage or scripted gameplay that had been pre-made. So it sounds like that could be what we're going to get here, or, maybe they're going to do the reveal and then creators are going to be able to sit down, play the game, stream it, give their thoughts on it and things like that. Now, clearly, I have not been invited to this event because if I had been, I would be under an NDA right now and I would certainly not be sharing this with you guys. So who has been invited? I would probably say most creators, like I think most people in the EA Creator Network will have been invited, although I do think unless they are really big creators, they will probably have to like make it there on their own cash flow, right? They're going to have to pay for their hotels, they're going to have to pay for their own flights. So I know for me, it certainly wouldn't be worth the trip then. Like, I'm not going to go and shell out tons of cash to go and advertise EA's game for them. But who knows, maybe I'm wrong, maybe they've kind of ponied up for a lot of the creators as well. So in summary, I would say your best bet is looking at, July 29th until the 31st. It is a little bit of a weird time in the week though. It's Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, which is a strange reveal timing. I would say why not put it on the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd of August, so it could certainly be them, but it definitely sounds like we are going to be getting that final reveal sooner rather than later. Now, in terms of release dates, what does this reveal actually mean? Well, if we go and take a look back at some of the dates from previous Battlefield games, they have generally been revealed around May or June, a lot of the time in May in fact, and then they've released later on in the year in October or November. So if the reveal does turn out to be, at the end of July, beginning of August, you're talking like they're 3 months late. So I would say it's fair to assume then that the release of the game will also similarly be around 3 months late. So instead of getting the game in like November, it's going to be December, January, maybe February. They have said it's releasing in this EA fiscal year, and EA's fiscal year ends at the end of March. So they basically have to release the game by March, unless of course they change something, and if they have decided to change something, there could be some new information on the 29th of July in EA's earnings call. I will be covering that just as I always do if there's anything interesting there, so if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, guys. I know a lot of you guys who watch here, you just see the recommended videos and you maybe aren't subscribed, so doing that would be massively appreciated. But let me know your comments on this down below. What do you think about this? Do you think there's any validity to this? Personally, again, seeing all of these different 3 pieces of evidence, I think there's too much here to say that this is fake and that there's no legitimacy to it. Let me know what you think, leave a like if you enjoyed today's video, and I will see you all in the next one.